We're on.
Oh, we are?
Yeah, we are. As you would put it yourself.
Welcome back, everybody, to the podcast.
Explain why you're here. I literally don't have my phone on me.
Because Josh is neglecting his podcast duties.
Like, really bad, right?
Yeah.
For those that don't know, we just got a new apartment, and he's never here. I basically pay to live in an apartment by myself, it feels like.
He's pretty much paying half of your bill.
Doing really bad at it. Quit winking at me. Jesus, we're trying to make this a good episode.
I'm here, so it will be a good episode.
I keep getting blown up on my fucking Apple Watch. You think it's Josh?
Is your other girlfriend messaging you?
Yeah, she's telling me that she wants some dick. That's not true.
Maybe we should keep it like PG-13.
Fuck PG or 13. Jesus Christ. Okay, I keep getting blown up. I can't read this. Yeah, no, I can't do that.
What happened?
2 seconds. So... Okay. Okay. For all I know, when we were going back and forth on us talking, when I was switching scenes, they may not have heard our voices.
Oh.
Yeah. I didn't set it up all the way like I probably should have. I forgot about that part. I'm doing my best. Okay, it's one camera with 3 angles. So
I don't know how that works.
introduce yourself. You've literally never been on the podcast.
I'm Andie,
Yeah.
Ethan's girlfriend.
The one I talk about all the time. Yeah, this is a long time coming. I talk about you a lot. I talk about your vagina a lot, actually.
No, you don't.
Yeah, I do. Sometimes you're not there. But I talk about it a lot. We're best friends. Like, come on. You look pleased.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh. You have to speak words. That's how podcasts work.
I don't know what to say.
Clearly, you've never been on a podcast. You just have to say things. Just talk how you feel. So, how did your day go? How about that? This is a you and I podcast. How about that? You don't feel obligated to tell them anything. How did your day go to me?
It went good.
What did you do?
First we went to Walmart.
Mm.
Had to hide from my my bosses
Softly explain why.
because I'm on leave because my grandma passed away.
So, when we ran into who?
Andrew and
You don't have to give names.
Veronica.
When you ran into people that you worked with, we went into her work to get things. So basically, we skipped aisles, so we didn't have to Andie, I thought you were on bereavement. Why are you here? Basically. That was really funny, by the way. We were walking down the main aisle, and all of a sudden you were like, go left. And I went left, and I was like, what was that about? You were like, that was my boss. It's like some James Bond shit.
Did it feel very sneaky?
Yeah, you gonna keep burping?
Yep.
Uh-huh. Yep. Okay. Tell Josh he's a bitch.
You're a bitch.
Because he's supposed to be here. But he's not. Where do you think he's at right now? He's at work, actually, currently, as of right now.
Oh, he's
But
making that money.
yeah, he's making that shmonies. Mr. Moneybags is what I call him. Because he's always like, you want a couple $100? And I'm like, no, I don't. And he's like, well,
When have you ever declined his money?
literally never. Like, absolutely never. But, I mean, he also just be throwing it at me. I don't have a chance to decline it.
Literally, he said the other day he gave you 100 and you took it and ran into the bathroom and locked yourself.
No. So what happened? See, what had happened was I was standing outside his bedroom and he was like, look at all he literally was like, look at all this money. And he was showing me the money he had in his safe. And I was like, that's great. Josh, some of us are poor. And then he threw $100 bill at me and was like, why don't you take this? And I was like, dude, I don't want to take your money. And he was like, and kept throwing it at me. And I was like, throw it at me one more time and I'm going to take it and pretend I never got it. And he was like, and I grabbed it and I fucking ran off real quick. And I went into the bathroom and shut the door real quick as if I never took the money. I was like, I don't know what $100. It was a joke, mainly. It was like a bit, but yeah, no, I took the money and I kept it. He threw it at me.
He can throw a $100 bill at me.
Has yet to do that.
No.
No, never threw a $100 bill at you. He gave you money for your coil. For your juice.
$8.
$8 buckaroonies.
And then Ethan maybe gave 3 of it to a homeless man.
That's not true. There was a homeless man and I said give him some money and you decided to give him $3.
I couldn't just give him $1.
Okay, well you still gave the man money. You couldn't just give him $1?
No.
How come?
Because that'd be stupid.
Why is it stupid?
Because it's just $1.
I don't understand.
Like he couldn't buy much with it.
I don't think he's collecting money to buy much with it. I think he's just garnering wages just to make sure he can like do things. I don't think it's like a yeah, no. I don't think he's like I need all the money I can get so I can buy an apartment. No, what are you doing?
I'm drinking my drink. I don't actually slurp things. That was just really satisfying.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
I really hope this comes out fine. Last time we recorded, posted it to YouTube, and it was a fucking shitty video. I was not happy. 30 frames per second, 71% CPU, 8 minutes in. Shut up. You shut up. Is that funny?
Yeah.
Yeah, she has no idea what goes into the podcast. She just sits there and looks pretty.
I do be doing that.
What?
Sitting looking pretty.
Yeah, you do.
Tell them about the cats.
What cats? We don't have cats.
Oh no, we don't have cats.
We don't have cats. Like at all.
No cats.
You said Nairobi and oh my god, you say the second one. A piece of shit.
Darwin, or Darfunkel, or Darby, or Fuckhead,
or
Fat Fuck.
Darmass. He's great.
He's fantastic. Full of personality.
That's an understatement. He's a bitch.
He's a bit of a crackhead.
He's a lot of things, and calm is not one of them. he be getting on my nerves. And Nairobi is definitely my favorite because she's chill and relaxed. Doesn't have a lot going on. She likes to just sit there and chill with me. And then all of a sudden, I'd be sitting there and I'm like, man, I'm like, man, I hear some loud sounds, and it's literally Darwin going. I'm like, what was that? I asked him. I was like, hey, you making those sounds? And he's like, and then he's just fucking digging in his butt. I don't know, like it doesn't it doesn't matter what he's doing. He's always doing some fuck shit. So, yeah, no, he's an asshole. Love the guy, but god damn. Apparently he's your favorite, so I don't know what that's about. But
I love them both.
Nairobi's. Come on.
Come on.
Come on. What was that?
Nothing.
No, go ahead and say it.
It's gonna be a terrible episode.
I don't give a fuck. It's you know what? Sometimes it's for me, not them, and sometimes it's for Josh, not us. So, what were you saying? No, what'd you say? Go ahead, say it. I dare you. Go ahead, say it. Hey there, motherfucker. What did you say?
I don't remember.
Are you fucking kidding me right now? Oh my god. This will be a terrible episode just because you don't remember what you're saying. So basically we're talking to nobody. Yeah, you pulling a Josh?
I can't deep throat this thing like him.
How does he do it? Go ahead, go. I'm looking at the camera. How does he do it?
My mouth is physically not big enough. He's used to sucking that big black cock.
You better watch the fucking words you're saying. You can't just go talking wild like that. Jesus.
I'm in Josh's place. I gotta fulfill his racist comments.
Okay. Let's talk about that. Is Josh not... Is he not racist?
Just a little bit.
Right? Enough to notice?
Un poquito.
For those that speak Spanish, good for you. For me, what does that mean?
A little bit.
A little bit. Un poquito. Okay. A little bit. El podcast de Circulos. Or whatever the fuck I said the first time.
El Circulos de podcast.
El Circulos de podcast. No, that's not what I said. That's not what I said at all. So this is...
No, the podcast does come first.
Yeah, this is the Circles podcast.
Yeah.
El podcast de Circulos. Right?
Mm-hmm.
This is the Circles podcast? Why does that work like that? Do you know? In Spanish? Why say something first even though in English it comes second, or vice versa?
I don't know. There's a lot of words in Spanish that are like that.
Like what? Do you have an example, or?
I believe the phrase for when you're telling someone how old you are, it's backwards.
As in? This is a boring episode, but it's okay.
Sorry,
It's fine.
I'm not educated on all things, nerd.
That's fine. Anyway. Spanish?
I don't know much Spanish.
I know, but you were saying like sometimes it comes forwards and back. So what comes in opposite compared to English? And you almost had an example, therefore that was.
I did, but I don't know how to say it in Spanish.
So say it how you think it comes out.
I don't know.
You really don't?
I was racking my brain.
No shit?
I think
okay.
it's... A story?
Oh. Yeah, go ahead. Google it. Seriously. Google it. The camera's on you, and I really hope it comes out how I want it to, because last time I did this, choppy as fuck.
Maybe it's not backwards. It says Tango 23 años.
Tengo 23 años,
Mm-hmm.
which basically means...
I am 23 years old.
I'm 23 years old. Tango 23. So there's a word before 23 itself. I am. Is it I am, or does...
Tango. I am.
Tango is I am? I'm about to call Josh and ask why he's not here. He's at work. Think I'll like that?
Did you tell him that we were doing a podcast?
No, I didn't. I told him I might record with you. You call him, because he'll pick your phone up, and then hold it up. Hold it up to the microphone. Call Mr. Juice. Yeah? Here, hold on real quick. I thought there was supposed to be a way for me to pause it.
I don't think we should bug him while he's at work.
Fuck him. Huh. Well, I wanted to pause the recording. Anyway, call him. Fuck it, call him.
Should I put it on speaker?
Yeah.
Hello.
Josh!
Hi.
Hey,
Tell him we're recording.
we're recording.
Oh, you are?
Yeah.
Yep, you're on the mic.
I was going to be there to record tonight.
He was going to be here.
It doesn't matter. Tell him he's on the mic.
Oh, you're on the mic right now.
Oh, what's up, people? Welcome back, everybody, to the podcast.
Tell him we called him just to see what he was doing.
We were just calling to see what you were doing.
You know, tell him I can hear him.
Oh.
My bad there, bitch boy.
You guys
Ooh,
can-
You got a little liquid courage in you, don't you?
Yes.
No.
You're drinking a vodka tonic right now.
You're not
I was
supposed to
just
tell
people
him.
He's easy.
You guys can still record tonight.
Yeah, we can still record.
Nah, it's okay. You got it covered.
Hey, don't.
No.
Now he's literally being a bitch boy.
Yeah, because you got it covered.
No. Her and I have talked about fucking flowers for a half an hour.
Okay, flowers are cool. People will love to hear that.
Even Andie listens to this podcast and she would be bored.
It's her conversation. I bet she'd love it.
Tell him.
No, I think the viewers might be a little bored.
You just gotta live your best life, you know, guys?
You guys should still record tonight.
Yeah, we probably will. Nah, I don't know.
This fucking guy.
Be
Do you
here
see what
or
I live
be
with?
square.
I like being square. My favorite shape to be is rectangle, though.
Well, you're in the shape of a penis because you're a dick.
That was aggressive.
That was the point. So
Flowers, huh?
you're at work until 10 o'clock?
10 o'clock, yep.
10 o'clock.
That is the way the news goes.
It's the way the news goes.
I bet I
Alright.
sound awful.
No, actually, you don't
You
sound
really
that bad. Yeah,
don't.
you don't sound that bad, actually. She's got you in the microphone. You sound pretty good.
It's the AirPods. They're making me come out crystal clear.
Yeah, I'm sure it's the AirPods there, bud.
It is.
Yeah, totally. It's you know what? It's 100% the AirPods. You just sound crispy because of air to the pods.
It's my silky smooth voice, too.
Yep, that you know what? Yeah, that does it. You just sound extra sexy through the AirPods.
You have a voice of an angel.
Oh, you guys are so sweet.
I regret calling him 100%.
It was your idea.
I know, because I wanted him to like be comedic, and instead he's like, "So we don't have to record tonight."
I think I'm funny.
Do you think you're funny?
I do.
So on a scale of 1 to 10, how many
11.
how many Smurfs would you punch in the face?
Smurfs?
Yeah.
I think I could get a decent amount in. I don't think I can bring myself to punch Smurfette, but technically she's a man, so it's okay.
She's technically the only female, but if she
was genetically engineered by Gargamel, so technically she's a man because they use men DNA.
Repeat what you just said?
She was genetically engineered by Gargamel.
How? How do you know that?
It's in the movie.
God, you just gotta
what
read
movie?
Your Smurf lore.
The
what the fuck is wrong
Smurf
with you?
movie.
Like the one from the the late 2000s?
The one with Neil Patrick Harris.
Oh, okay. I've never seen the new one, guys.
Get
the
educated.
first one was genuinely pretty solid. The second one was dumpster fire.
I didn't see the second one.
I should tell you
Well,
that.
apparently it's a dumpster fire. So you
First
said
one, really, really good, honestly. I mean, goofy as all hell, but it was good.
you said genetically engineered?
Yeah.
Oh god.
Hello, how you doing today? Doing pretty good.
He's obviously someone just came in the store and went beep beep beep.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mansplain to our audience.
So you could take on 10 Smurfs?
No, I think I could take on more than that.
All right, how many 10-year-olds do you think you could beat up in one point?
I could beat the fuck out of 10-year-olds.
You've seen that episode?
Yeah.
It's so funny. No, but in reality, minus Joe Rogan's podcast. For real though, how many 10-year-olds could you beat up like at once?
I feel like I could take like 6 or 7.
See, I feel like I could take like 8 or 9. I think it depends on the 10-year-old.
Like, are we talking like those 10-year-olds that have been drinking their milk, or are we talking about those weak-ass 10-year-olds that are like super skinny?
I would say average 10-year-olds, which may or may not be drinking the milk. How about that?
I could take like 12.
Like you could fuck up 12-year-olds?
Yeah.
Word. That's pretty dope. Okay. So are you fighting them with your fists, or are you just like, fuck you, I'm kicking you?
I think I would start out kicking, and then I'd just go in with my
You'd start out kicking, and then you would end it on, I'm fucking you up with my hands?
Yeah. Then I'd like grab a 12-year-old or 10-year-old, whichever one we're doing. I'd just grab them by the ankles and start beating them with them.
Wait, are you saying you would grab a 12-year-old and beat them with another 12-year-old?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Oh. So you would swing on a 12-year-old with a 12-year-old?
Yeah. Because technically I'm not beating them at that point.
I think technically you're right.
I like that logic.
How
Is that
could
pretty good?
technically he's not beating a 12-year-old if he's using a 12-year-old to beat a 12-year-old? It's a loophole, right? Yeah. Okay. Well, we were just calling to see if you'd fuck up 12-year-olds, and apparently you will.
All right, you're all set, bud?
Yeah. He's talking to his customer. Oh
That
my
is so
god.
loud.
Yeah, that's fucking super loud.
You guys are so dramatic. You called me.
Yeah, wait till you see the podcast and you see her reaction to the beep, beep, beep.
Is she on recording?
Yeah, well, this is all on record. Like, we're video recording right now. Yeah, all of it.
That's what I meant. Is she on like video recording?
Yeah.
Love that. Proud of you, Andy.
Thanks, buddy.
You're welcome, pal.
You know what's funny? She didn't.
No, what I bet you're gonna tell me.
No, I mean, to be fair, when I tell you this, you'll be like, yeah, that's totally true. She didn't
That's
realize.
hilarious.
Well-
I'm on the edge of my seat.
Anyway, bud, she didn't realize that recording, it literally it makes you look like 10 pounds heavier. So every time
Oh yeah, it's rough.
yeah, no, you look at the podcast and you're like, oh, I'm fat as fuck.
I
My
didn't know
knees are
that.
huge.
Josh doesn't like his knees on the podcast. That's why every time I record, you'll notice I make sure that the episode is the table and above. Yeah, I don't like my legs on the podcast either when it's video. Sometimes. Yeah, no, like the one time she got on I was like, hey, can you like sit in the chair so I know where Josh sits? I was trying to like level the camera, and she was like, God damn, I look fat as fuck. I was like, yeah, welcome to the fucking camera. Bullshit. It sucks.
Just like when you look in the mirror, you find yourself uglier.
What are you trying to say, dude? You think I'm uglier in the mirror?
No, you're uglier in real life.
Well, I'm glad we called Josh. That was great.
Hey, you set me up for that one.
No, I don't think I did. But anyway, we enjoyed calling you.
Well, I'm happy you did.
I'm sorry Josh couldn't make it to this podcast, but he still made a feature on his own podcast. So, Josh, sign out.
Josh is getting that bank. I'll see you later, everybody. Oh, and for the end of the podcast, take a heart, everybody.
Bye, Josh.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
That was funny. What?
Nothing.
What?
I'm tired.
Yeah, imagine that. Andie's tired and doesn't want to finish the podcast. Believe it or not, we have a half an hour left, and you have to finish it.
Do I have to?
Yeah, you do. What?
We're boring.
Who cares if we're fucking boring? Okay, maybe most people care if we're boring, but that doesn't matter. Drink your mugs. I'll drink mine. Whatever this is.
Vodka tonic.
Okay, you caught me. I'm a little tired. But what?
So did you guys know that Ethan pushed me down the stairs not long ago? And I broke my fucking ankle.
For the record, she deserved it.
Somebody call for help.
She was like, my leg hurts. I was like, oh, do you want everything to hurt? Boom, and I pushed her down the stairs. I didn't push you down the fucking stairs.
I'm being held against my will.
No, you're not. Fucking stop it. God damn it.
They know it's a joke.
Is it a joke?
Yeah.
Everyone's going to hate this. But it's just me and you just like bullshitting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Andie, you've been vaccinated.
Oh, God.
Don't oh God me. I hold a pretty clear mind on this topic. And or sometimes I'm a little biased. But at the same point, if not on the same point, I'm pretty straightforward when it comes to, does this work, does it not? My point being, as you know, most of my work has, in the last 3 weeks, gotten COVID. The only ones who have not gotten COVID are a person that you know by the name of E, starts with E, and then myself, which of have not gotten the vaccine. You have been double vaxxed without the booster, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. When you put 2 and 2 together, how does that make you feel? As a person who's like, science says this, science says that, I'll get this, I'll get that. And then you look at someone like me who obviously, yes, very paranoid. I'm a hypochondriac. Medicine scares me, this and that. But I think you can agree, 9 times out of 10, all I'm doing is researching what I'm fucking spewing out. Yes, do I not get it across very well with Josh? Apparently, it's very obvious. I don't get it out very well. But what I'm saying isn't wrong. What I am saying is I'm skeptical for a reason, and Technically speaking, I do have the science to back that. Now, whether that's biased science or not, I don't know. I can only do the best I can with what I read and what I look up. But from your point of view as a person who dates me and loves me, how do you feel when I come at you with this and then you see results as in literally the only people at my store that have actually like had to been not hospitalized, but have had to quarantine are the ones with the vaccine compared to the ones without, which includes myself.
I don't really know. I think it can be about chance and about how long you've been exposed. And I think your immune system could play into it.
Okay. So, technically speaking, I think at this point in our relationship, I have a pretty good immune system. Yeah. Like, even when I think you've been sick pretty bad a couple times, and even then I'm fine. Right?
I haven't been sick. I was only sick when I got the second COVID shot.
And I was still fine. Even though technically at that point you were considered transmissible.
No, they said, I looked it up and you can't get it from someone who got the shot. Like, right after they get the shot. It's not
right after
contagious.
Okay, but if you contract COVID after you get the shot and therefore you're next to me, are you telling me I can't get COVID specifically just because you got it from the shot?
No, I did not say that.
Okay. That's what
I'd be a fucking idiot if I said that.
No, I know. That's what I'm saying. Does that not sound silly?
Yeah.
Okay. That's what I meant. And then for a minute, we thought you had COVID, but in fact, you were just sick as fuck because of the... Was it the second shot at the time? Okay. Josh is going to hate this podcast. He'll be like, you're spreading misinformation. This is going to sound really weird. How did that... Darwin. We have cats. They're fucking everywhere.
No, we don't have cats.
No, we don't. That's weird. I have this fucking itch on my leg. So, like, genuinely, I don't even know how to say this. I've had COVID confirmed twice, maybe unconfirmed 3 times. Does it make you uncomfortable? Does it make you uncomfortable that I haven't been vaccinated at all?
No, I mean, not really, because you're young and you're healthy.
I'm fat as fuck.
You're not fat as fuck.
Okay, anyway. It doesn't make you uncomfortable at all?
Not really. I think it's your decision.
You don't think my decision impedes on other people's health?
At the rate we are at right now in the epidemic, pretty much everyone's going to get it, so...
That's a really good way of putting that, because that's not wrong. Would you believe me if I told you that is a controversial opinion? That everyone's going to get it, and you should live with the fact that 95% of us are going to be okay, but you should live with also the fact that 99% of us are going to, in turn, contract this virus?
So what was the question?
The question was, does that make you feel okay knowing that, like, I don't have the vaccine, but statistically speaking and or statistically what is showing with numbers, regardless of whether I have the vaccine or not, the variant that is out right now, the Omicron, we've talked about this. It's not about an if, it's about a when.
Yeah.
So It's not about if you'll get it. It's about when you'll get it. So as a person who dates someone who is a vaccine skeptic, do you feel people need to get vaccinated, or do you feel that people should have a freedom to do what they feel they want to do compared to what people say they have to do? I haven't asked this of you in a while, like at all. And I'm sorry I'm doing it on the podcast.
I think people should get vaccinated because then you can have herd immunity and then that protects against other people.
Correct.
But I also believe that it should be your decision and you shouldn't be forced to get the vaccine based on where you work.
You are aware also that herd immunity can also come from natural immunity in people that don't have the vaccine?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. How do you stand with that?
What do you mean?
Well, you just mentioned that I think people should get the vaccine. One of the reasons being more that are vaccinated, the herd is vaccinated. Therefore, herd has immunity to said virus. Another point on that from my side is enough people that get it get a very decent amount of immunity just based on antibodies. I have several. That's why I've gone through the pandemic being pretty fine. And you laugh, but it's very true. I've worked in public service for the last 4 years out of the 2 that we've had the pandemic. I've had it twice. First time was terrible. Second time, or I take that back. First time, didn't notice. Second time, I thought I was dying. Ever since then, I've been fine. Then again, I'm also like... Then again, I don't have any comorbidities or anything like that. Like I'm a healthy person. But as far as herd immunity goes, you don't necessarily need to get the vaccine in order to accomplish that. So what my question is you said you don't think people should be required to get it. How do you feel about the companies that are mandating vaccines or they fire them? Is that not wild?
I think it should be... I mean, I feel like it's a violation of human rights.
Like, if I was a person and I was like, get the flu vaccine or I'm firing you, I really feel like there'd be a really big conversation and or backlash to that. When it comes to COVID, no one's questioning that. My concern is, and among others, which is where I've gathered my opinion, because obviously, you know, I listen to plenty of people, but my opinion could be considered biased and or unbiased or super biased considering on who you ask. But from where I'm coming from, what I've based my opinion on is the fact of the people I've listened to, and what I've come to understand is if you take away a right, it's easier to take it away than it ever is to give it back. And I feel like that's easy to understand, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Like with the Patriot Act when 9/11 happened. Our lives have never been the same ever since we went to an airport, correct? So if you're taking away rights and you're putting in mandates for vaccines, a person like me who just wants to go to like Indonesia or just overseas, fuck overseas, how about across the border to Canada? Right now, even though I've had it twice, I have antibodies. I'm the same contagion as a person who's had it, or I'm the same contagion as a person who's had 3 normal vaccines or 2 normal vaccines and 1 booster. I'm technically not allowed to go to Canada, but someone like my grandmother is, and she contracted COVID after her booster. Does that sound right?
Well, I guess after thinking about it, I don't really think it's any harder to get, like, to travel than it was. I think you just have to be, you have to get tested. You don't have to be vaccinated.
Well, some countries require testing. Other countries, like Canada, require vaccination. I could be wrong. Don't quote me on this. But I'm 90% sure Canada requires negative test and vaccination plus booster confirmation. So for countries like that, does that seem fair?
I don't know. I mean, I understand that the more people that are vaccinated, like, the better it is for the general population, but I don't know. It goes back to the human rights thing. I don't know.
Well, I mean, so I keep saying for someone like me, I mean, I know plenty of people that haven't been vaccinated, but I mean, one of my main points, and my brother, who is the co-host of this podcast, for the record, the reason he busts my balls so much is you've already had COVID twice. What's the reason you don't get the vaccine? Well, I've had COVID twice. That was almost a year and a half to 2 years ago for both cases. I'm fine. What we don't know is the studies that have been brought upon the vaccinations themselves, which can bring myocarditis into males younger than, I believe, 15 years old. So people like Gabriel and Abraham, which you know both of them. They're my cousins.
Mm-hmm.
They're young. Myocarditis isn't anything to fuck with. It's a very terrible thing to contract. And it also doesn't go away once you receive it. It's something you have to deal with the rest of your life. I think, is it not a heart condition? Okay. Either way.
I don't know.
My point is, the reason I don't get the vaccine is I have more reasons to be fine without it than I do to get it. And as a person who's not on the left or the right, I mean, you know me. It makes me more comfortable to just be fine in the middle. And I don't see why I should be beaten towards either side. I'm not harming anyone to my left. I'm not harming anyone to my right. Now, if I was a super spreader, that would make more sense. But based on science, that is no longer the case. My grandmother, who I was very concerned about because she's overweight, was double vaccinated and boosted. And she contracted COVID last week. And I wasn't around her for like 3 months.
She got COVID?
Yeah, she did.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Judy?
Yeah.
Yeah, she got COVID. My dad's mom? Yeah, she got COVID.
Is your mom and them okay?
Yeah, they're fine. And Josh was like, you can still go over there. And I'm like, no, I'm not. That's another thing people don't understand. Like, just because I don't get vaccinated doesn't mean I'm not afraid of this disease. It means I have had it before. And I feel like I have a right to be like, there's no reason for me to get vaccinated because the CDC also announced, I wish I had my phone.
Well, and also,
I'm 90% sure that
I'm going to finish my thought while you're looking that up.
Go ahead.
But, as you said, your grandma was double vaccinated and boosted, and she still got it. So, you, without the vaccination, could still get it. Or if you had the vaccination, you could still get it. So, it's not like you're doing anything wrong.
No. And so, what is it with the people that tell me I'm doing everything wrong?
At Josh.
Yeah. What's that about?
I think he's just worried for your safety and for your health. And he just wants to, like, do by you the best he can. He just wants you to be safe, and he thinks that the vaccination is the best way to do that. Love you, buddy.
The
I am Switzerland.
The man who helped invent the vaccine says it's a worrisome thing to take it. We might get censored for this. Dr. Robert Malone was on Joe Rogan's podcast. He was deleted from Twitter. He was banned from Twitter. He's on Google, I think, still. But he was also banned from YouTube. He helped, and I'm not even kidding, he was one of the main founders, if not the main founder, of the mRNA vaccine. The Moderna is his invention. And he himself has said this has long-term effects that don't have to do with the disease itself. It has to do with the vaccine.
Is it just the Moderna? I know the...
He can only speak to the Moderna because he's the one who helped invent it.
I know the Johnson & Johnson has had a lot of problems.
With blood clots. Yes, correct. Actually, speaking of which, the Johnson & Johnson early on, they fucking said, don't take it. And they were like, why? And they were like, blood clots. And
I feel like there's something else they're not saying.
Maybe.
There's probably more to that.
Maybe. But at first they said it was blood clots, and that's why you couldn't take it. And they took it off the market, and now you can take it again. You know how many people I know that have taken the J&J vaccine?
Did you take the Johnson & Johnson
If you
vaccine,
took the Johnson &
you
Johnson
are entitled
vaccine,
to compensation.
You are entitled to compensation. Jesus. I guess I'm irritated. I feel like I've been... I don't know, like... shitted on for...
Shat on?
I've shitted on... shitted on them.
Shat on.
I have felt like I've been shat on for simply coexisting in a world where I've had, like...
Who else has been shitting on you besides Josh?
It's a subliminal messaging within the real world. So, like, for my work, for example, I have to wear a mask.
As most places do. I have to wear a mask.
And as most places understand, masks, unless it's the KN95, it doesn't matter.
Mm-mm.
No, it doesn't. It really, like, even with the KN95, yes, they wear those in, even surgical masks. When you're in surgery and you're a surgeon and you wash your hands, like, yes, bacteria is prevented. But as far as a contracted airborne disease, masks can only do so much. And this is not something wild. This is proven. Especially with masks, that if I hit my vape and I put the mask on, and I blew the vape, it comes out the sides. Those particles are bigger than spit particles and or breath particles that I blow out just breathing. It has been proven, and I literally hate saying this because I've always been like, just wear your mask, guy. Just wear your mask. I get it. Yes, just wear your mask. But science has proven they only do so much if they're not the KN95. Even if they are the KN95, they still only do so much. That I've been shat on for that plenty of times. Like, it's little things like that. I don't know when we stepped into the realm of this is what I have to say compared to this is what science says, but that's the part that bothers me the most is when you have cancer, you're always allowed to get a second opinion. When you have COVID, what they say is what goes. What they say is what goes. Even though the main thing they've always been spouting out is if you get COVID or if you haven't had COVID, get the vaccine. The problem is with this disease, they have proved, at least science has, compared to modern scholars and or other scientists that I can't get into because I don't know the names of, but it's been equal, if not abundant, that the people who have been like, there's a way to treat this compared to just getting the vaccine that obviously just helps you if you get it, which could be considered treatment. So, ivermectin, monoclonal antibodies, which used to be really easy to get up until Florida. Which used to be really easy to get in Florida up until Biden blocked it.
Side note, I have no idea what you're talking about.
It's okay. So compared to every time you've ever heard somebody getting COVID, they were like, I got the vaccine when I heard I got COVID, right? Or I got the vaccine and then I got COVID, but I was fine because I had the vaccine.
Mm-hmm.
So for every disease you've ever heard of, you have a solution to the problem, and then you also have a treatment for the problem until you find the solution, correct? So if you have...
Not always.
Well, it depends on the disease. Not always. I want you to reflect on your answer. Not always. You don't always have an answer. But that doesn't mean you necessarily always don't have an answer. So for COVID, ivermectin, they call it horse dewormer. Which it is. But there's also human studies, human trials, and it's also a... it's not a... It's a generic drug. Therefore, pharmaceutical companies can't profit off it because it can be generic. It doesn't have to be ivermectin. It can be silomectin, or that's not an actual name, but like it can be anything but do the same thing. It can't be profited on. Therefore, big pharma can make a big profit. Things like monoclonal antibodies, the entire country, there's enough monoclonal antibodies to, this is my point, the thing they gave Donald Trump when he got COVID was monoclonal antibodies, and among other things. The only thing that has been scientifically proven to help the seriousness of COVID is monoclonal antibodies. They are now suppressing the way to reach these type of medicines. In Florida, it used to be 6 months ago, super easy to get. Once someone like Joe Rogan was like, hey, this is what Trump was given, this and that. You can't get them anymore. They've been suppressed. And when I mean suppressed, I mean the Biden administration has said you cannot receive these easily anymore. Stuff like that. I've been spouting off a lot of things.
Mm-hmm.
I have a tiny boy next to me.
Darwin's chilling under the table.
My main point has been what it has always been is I'm tired of people being like, you need the vaccine. And when I'm like, there's plenty of other things I could do without it. And to be fair, I've lived without the vaccine. You having fun?
You might lose some subscribers.
I might. I've been going on a rant.
Yeah.
My entire point is you should be able to make your own choices. Mandates are terrible. And once you establish, look at me. Once you establish, well, seriously, once you establish mandates, you can't take, things are easier to approve than they are to take away. The government has proved that. So this is one of the only diseases we've ever come across to where they're suppressing a different form of treatment, and they're just like vaccine. When I get the flu, if I don't want to go get a flu shot, that's fine. What's funny is if I get the flu, going to get a flu shot isn't going to help me, and they will tell you that. It's not going to help. You already got it. All the new flu shot can do is prevent you from maybe getting it again. Even then, you still might get it, but your symptoms will be minor. Now, you get COVID, go get vaccinated, this and that, blah, blah, blah. You need to get the vaccine. Even then, it's not going to help, but it'll help you from being hospitalized.
Yeah, I mean, isn't that the same thing as the flu, though, what you just said?
Yeah, depending on who you ask. That's the problem. Is there... I love you, but I sound so right-wing when I say this, is they're spouting off the vaccine as a cure when it is a technical treatment. It's not a cure.
I think most people have realized now that it's not a cure. It's more of a treatment because of all the new evidence that has come out.
The problem is, what were they originally spouting it off as? Get the vaccine and you'll be fine.
Yes,
and you won't get COVID.
Just like everything, scientists don't know everything from the beginning. They learn as they go.
Then don't say it. And most scientists who understand the rule of don't say something you're not sure of, don't. Fauci decided not to.
Well,
he also said at first, masks don't work. Don't take them. Don't do them. And then he was like, masks do work. Wear 3. And then he was like, never mind. That's not how that works. Like, he's been in his position long enough to know what to say, and even then he was just it was almost like he fucking. Have you ever heard of the Wuhan lab theory?
You gonna tell me about it?
Yeah, do you want me to?
Uh-huh.
You might be upset once I tell you what it is. Okay, where do you think COVID originated from, baby doll?
They said it was from China, but is it from the U.S.?
No, tell me what you think. All you know as far as this is where it originated from. What is your understanding of it?
I don't read many articles.
That's fine.
Because I get bored.
No, that's fine. As an average American that doesn't read into anything.
Oh, I'm average. I'm average, everybody. Just average.
As an average American that doesn't read into anything, what is your understanding of where COVID originated from?
I know they said it was from China, but
okay,
it's probably, I know that's not true.
Have you ever heard Wuhan?
Mm-mm.
Okay, so they said that it originally originated from Wuhan Fresh Market, meaning that it was a fresh market of like fresh meats, like fresh bacteria, like fresh like animals.
I know what a fresh market is.
Okay. I'm just making sure. Said it may or may not. Their main theory was it may or may not have originated from a bat.
Oh yes.
Okay, you heard the bat soup theory?
I did read that one.
Okay.
Because I was like, what the fuck?
Okay. This is where it's funky. In the same area. What are you looking for? The kitties?
I wanted a cat.
In the same theory, there was also a hypothesis that it would originated from the Wuhan lab, which was located a couple miles away from the fresh market that dealt with coronaviruses. Because I don't know if you know this or not, coronaviruses aren't an unheard thing.
No, I have heard of that.
Okay.
I guess I did read a teeny bit, but I only remembered after you say it.
So the theory is that Wuhan lab was a level 4 facility. Level 4 meaning they were able to deal with viruses that were very top notch. And what they were doing was they were chemically changing these viruses to anticipate them mutating. And they called that, fuck, I can't remember the name. There's a name. Hold on. I need to come up with it. Otherwise, I'll just be totally discredited. Fuck.
As you think about that, can I just say how reckless it is of the human species to create viruses?
To anticipate them mutating?
Yes.
That is the entire point and hypothesis of the people that are like, why? So Dr. Fauci's job, one of his main jobs was, it's on the tip of my no, seriously, it's on the tip of my tongue. I can't remember it. Fuck. It has to do with mutating and fucking growing viruses and making them bigger to anticipate the fact that they may become bigger, and you have to overcome the fact that they are. So he's like, he mutates them to make them worse, and the only reason he's doing that
Malignant?
No, he's doing so for good, technically for good reason. So if they become this, we can overcome the fact that they become worse.
This is Darwin, everybody.
That's
This is fat fuck.
Jesus Christ. Back the fuck.
He's got his balls in front of the camera. Stop. Wait a minute. You want to meow? That was Darwin's breathing. No. You don't need any vodka.
Oh. I literally can't remember the name.
It's okay, baby.
No, it's not. No, it's not. I need to know the name.
Look it up. Ding dong.
I'll ding your dong.
I'm fucking over these dad jokes.
Where is your... Okay.
Our podcast got better.
Podcast.
Shut up. The sound he just made into the microphone.
Fuck.
What time is it?
It's 9:05.
Is Josh's woman bringing him home?
He'll be home at... He gets off at 10.
Is Coda bringing him home?
Yeah. Fuck. Fuck, I can't remember what it is.
Do 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 do. I'm a wee bit pitchy.
It's literally on the tip of my fucking tongue, and I'm getting mad.
Can we just skip?
No, we can't. That it's that important. That's why I'm irritated. It's a. You ready?
Yes.
Okay, so it's called gain of function research. What gain of function research does is what I told you. So basically, they're gain of function. So what they're doing is they're making the virus mutate into something that is bigger than it is. And what they're trying to decelerate is the anticipation of it becoming bigger. The only way to do that is to see what it becomes. This is a very bad way of explaining it. I'm sure I'm getting it wrong, but this is my understanding in my very tiny brain.
The way that you're saying it makes sense to all of our small brains.
Make it go bigger to see what it can become, and then once it becomes that, how can you decelerate that specific instance? That's what happened. So the Wuhan lab theory used to be discredited because even in the in the Wuhan lab, there was a place called the Wuhan lab, and it was a level 4 lab, meaning they could deal with coronaviruses, they were allowed to deal with very intense viruses that were considered level 4, which was a high level, which was 2 or 3 miles away from the fresh market where they said the outbreak began. The funny part is 2 to 3 people, 2 people in the lab and 2 of the lab's spouses started to get coronavirus before it was coronavirus a couple weeks before COVID became public.
I thought they said the first man that got it was in China, but he wasn't in a lab. Maybe I didn't read the right article. I remember something about that.
Here's another problem is it's China.
Because they said they found patient 0.
That's another problem is I'll get called out for this too. Another problem is China. China discredits do you understand the problem with China too?
No.
No? Come on, babe. Are you serious?
I don't know know anything about politics.
It's not about politics. It's about the fact that China runs their people.
Oh, you mean in that aspect?
In the aspect of their business and their government is so intertwined that the government and business doesn't need to worry about like budget. So when a company's like, I think I'm about to go under, the government can step in and be like, no, I think you're going to last for like 5 more years. They're so intertwined that it doesn't matter. Therefore, if we're speaking on those grounds, we can assume that something as far as a disease outbreak, you really think China's going to be like, you know what? Yeah, we fucked up. This and that. The problem being is Dr. Fauci had his name tied to the gain-of-function research within the Wuhan lab in China. This is all tied together. 100% attached. This has been proven. This theory used to be discredited, dismissed, and laughed at. Now it's being questioned, investigated, and studied.
What if they blackballed him because...
Dr. Fauci?
Yes, because China created the virus as a weapon. Because countries all the time, they create things for weapons.
Well, let's not forget, China is... China still believes in, like, slavery.
Not surprising.
You're in college and you don't know this?
I'm not a history major.
Okay, it doesn't matter. It's the fact that China is a, like, totalitarianism. Like, it's dictatorship. Like, it's they're terrible. They treat their people like shit, and the only reason their people are held to a high standard is because they're afraid to go below the standards of which China's government upholds. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They don't teach that in college? They're like, hey, I just want to let you know, China's cool, but only because they'll kill them if they're not.
I've only really taken history classes that were about the U.S. history. I think I took world history, but that was in high school, and my teacher sucked. He literally gave us all the answers to the test, so.
That's not good.
No, but I got an excellent grade in that class.
Okay. Either way, this was a whole spiel.
Mm-hmm.
But the spiel comes down to the fact that, okay, you said, what if Fauci is being
Blackballed?
I will be honest with you. I've heard a lot of theories as a person who obviously, I mean, you see me all the time. All I do is read. I've never heard that theory that what if Fauci is responsible for gain-of-function research, which he is. That is proven. This is absolute fact. What if he didn't intend for this to happen, and now he's being put on the back burner because of China, you said?
Yeah, like what if they are not discrediting him, but getting him off of all platforms so that he cannot spread the truth?
Okay, so this is the weird part, is he is on all platforms.
Oh, I thought you said he got banned.
No, so what happened is the theory that he didn't put out got banned. The Wuhan lab theory, which is the virus came from a lab, which now, all things considered, it definitely probably 100% did. It came from a lab that was experimenting with coronaviruses. This got the way the virus got exploded and released, the only way it would make sense is if it was mutated with and fucked with, and then exited the lab somehow. Like it was an already mutated virus before it got out.
Mm-hmm.
Like it has a paper trail, and the paper trail leads back to the Wuhan lab. And everyone's like, no, it's not the Wuhan, not the Wuhan, this and that. Well, we've come to find out that Dr. Fauci had a direct correlation and hand within the Wuhan lab in China. Like, his name was attached to the project. It was his. I've never heard of the theory that he may just be the scapegoat. And he's backpedaling, and that's why he's so ferocious with the media. I've never heard that. That's nuts. Not nuts, but that's I've never heard that. I've never heard that. What if he's just the one trying to make up for the fact that someone fucked up?
What if I just solved the mystery of coronavirus?
Right. I've never heard that. So, speaking on that, you've never heard any of this?
Nope.
You know what?
You read a lot.
And
I do not.
I read a lot for good reason. I mean, this is another thing that's always irritated me within the last year, I'd like to point out. From the beginning of time, you're allowed to get a second opinion unless it's COVID. In which case, you're fucking wrong. Get the vaccine.
Well...
No, not well.
Listen.
Okay.
I think everything that you're allowed to get a second opinion on are diseases that affect the person, not the world.
Continue.
So, like, you compared it to cancer, but cancer is not contagious. And neither are a lot of other diseases. I mean, they may be hereditary, but...
That we know of.
But you're not going to go out and cough on someone and spread your fucking cancer. So that's why you're allowed to get a second opinion, because it's not going to affect the entire world.
So when we have cases where people like you and me, to where you've been double vaccinated, and you could cough on me, and you catch the virus, and I don't have it at all, and I'm fine. Then what? What's the argument? You get it. I do not. There are cases like this. I've not lived it, but there have been cases within our state where people that live closely, like you and I do, you're with me almost every day. Every second, almost. Laugh all you want. To where we're together 24/7, and you get it, and I'm not vaccinated, and I don't. When it's that hit or miss, how important is getting vaccinated?
Well, it also takes into account many other factors.
Like?
Such as, like my dad and Melissa, she got COVID and he did not.
And they live closely. I know
yes,
this.
they live together.
They live very closely.
But they just stayed in separate rooms. I don't know where she got it from, but... I mean, there's no way to really explain how he didn't get it other than the differences in their health and their immune system. Because at the time, neither of them were vaccinated, I don't believe.
That's more to my point. What's the point?
I think it's about choice.
It just... it feels like a slippery slope.
Well, it is.
Yeah, well, it feels like we keep leaning towards more mandates, and I'm like, as a person who knows me, like, do you really think mandating people to do something will follow through thoroughly? Or if they all concede to mandate it, will we just start conforming to their choices there, as in the government, no matter what? I just see a problem as in if you give everyone unemployment all the time, they'll always expect it. If you can't always offer it, they won't always expect it. They'll be like, oh, well, maybe not next year. But if you tell them every single year, get the vaccine, get the vaccine, get the vaccine, well, then every year they expect to get it. Every year you can tell them to do something else, and then it leads into that, and then it leads, like I know it sounds conspiratorial when I'm like, leading them in one direction opens up different fields to every direction, but it just feels like if you give the government power enough to do something that they're not allowed to do, they'll continue to do it and abuse it. So if you give them the power to tell someone, hey, tell your company that they can't work there unless they have the vaccine. And then they do that. And then they fire half of everyone who... Like, when does freedom come into question when it comes to, no, I don't want the vaccine, but I want to be able to work. No, I don't want to do that, but I want to be able to work. Like, no one's mandating the flu, and that kills hundreds of thousands of people every year.
I don't know. I think it's the way that our government is becoming more controlling every year.
What about cancer that's spread by cigarettes that are legally fucking regulated by the government, that are known for a fact to cause death-resulting diseases such as cancer, bone cancer? Like, it's a proven fact. Cigarettes are not good for you. And they're taxed by the governments. They're made with money.
Because it's about money. They make too much money.
And you fed into my point of, what if the vaccine is just about money? Big pharma. All that. Everyone always said, like, for the last 10 years, we've been on this spiel about big pharma's not in it for us. They spread out pain pills because they don't like us. They're trying to make money. And then all of a sudden, we believe in them because they make a vaccine that apparently saves us. The same companies we didn't trust 2 years ago, we trust now because there's a pandemic and they have a quote-unquote cure. Even though the numbers can show it's not a cure and it actually doesn't help us, other than it may or may not just keep us out of the hospitals?
I don't know.
This shit makes me feel crazy. It's what goes in my mind every day. And the part that bothers me the most is I'm asking you these questions, and I know you and I are good. If I asked anyone else these questions, they'd be like, dude, you're fucking insane. And I'm like, no, I'm asking questions because I should be allowed to.
Cats are fighting in the recliner.
Yes, they are.
Pretty fucking cute.
Super fucking cute. It's only 9:22. We can end this.
Okay.
It's been an hour and 18. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Does that not worry you at all? As a person who's growing up in the U.S., the things that I'm most concerned about are the fact that no one's questioning the fact that the people who are spouting off these cures and reasons of conformism, I suppose.
Conformity?
Conformity. It doesn't matter. The same people who are spouting these things are the same ones we didn't trust just 4 years ago. No, you're big pharma. You're trying to sell me fucking opioids and drug pills to try to make me feel better, even though we both know that it's just going to kill my cousin and kill me if I take it too much. And then I'll get addicted, and then I'll keep wanting them. We all agreed on that. And then all of a sudden, a pandemic happens. And we all fucking panic. And now we're like, maybe they can save me. No. I'm concerned. One of the many things I've ever heard about government is it's the easiest to hand things out. It's very, 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 very hard to take it away. It's very easy to pass things into law. It's very hard to make it illegal. It's very easy to pass things into legislation. It's very, very, very hard to take that away. It's my main concern. And I feel like that's what we're on the brink of. I'm a paranoid guy, but I don't think I'm very far off. How do you feel?
I'm not very worried about it. I don't know. I mean, right now there's no point in worrying.
What if there's no point in worrying now until there is? Then what? Then what?
I don't know. I just try to live in the now. Not be so obsessed with things that might worry you.
I'm just so worried about living in the now until I can't handle the then. Then what? What do I do? What if we get so far ahead that we just I just can't, like, we can't do it? Then what? What if we have no choice? I mean, it sounds paranoid. It's on the brink of paranoia, but let them do enough and we'll get that far. That's my concern. And that's fairly obvious. It's not a question of how, it's a question of when. How far do we let them go before we get to then? Then what?
Well, there's no point in worrying. One person can't change the world.
One person can't change the world, but a couple people can help change everything.
Exactly. So you being an individual worrying is a waste of energy.
No, it's not. It's the best point in usage of energy is me being like, I don't know if we can do this. How do we change it? That's my point. Is my opinion is so controversial just based on the fact that I listen to a podcast that's run by a comedian, Joe Rogan. One of the only reasons, and this may sound dumb, one of the only reasons I even listen to him is 90% of the time I don't agree with him. It's the fact that he's having a conversation that no one else will have. He just released a podcast with Jordan Peterson. I don't know if you know him. Probably not. Jordan B. Peterson and Joe Rogan. Didn't like probably like 75% of the conversation. But for the most part, I enjoyed the fact that they were willing to have it. That's my opinion. 3 Spotify artists were like, take my music off Spotify if you're gonna have Joe Rogan on there. Why? They say he's spreading misinformation when he's just having conversations that no one's dumb enough to have. I'll put it even that far. Like he's not a dumb person, but he may not be the smartest, but he's responsibly dumb enough to ask the questions that no one else will. And it bothers me that people like Neil Young, not on Spotify anymore. There's a couple other artists that backed Neil. Neil Young said, it's either me or Joe Rogan. Spotify took Neil Young off Spotify. It's things like that. Like, and when people were like, why would you take... They were like, because he asked us to. And Joe Rogan didn't break any breach of contract. His podcast didn't reach qualifications for dismissal, basically. So it's things like that that bother me. Nowadays, even if you're afraid to have the conversation, there's no platform you can have the conversation on. Spotify is more than willing at this point. They've taken they've taken more backlash than they've received fucking praise for taking him on and having them on their platform. And even if I disagree with 90% of the conversation, I am more than grateful at the fact that there's a conversation I can disagree with and find it and listen to. Because what's funny is if that same conversation happened on YouTube, it'd be taken down.
Mm-hmm.
That's what scares me. Censorship. Not being able to talk about things. Land of the free, home of the brave, and we're fucking afraid and home of the fucking scared. Like, it's no. I don't get it. We can stop.
Okay. Let's end it.
I'm just irritated. Do you understand where I'm coming from?
Yes.
Don't agree with me just because you like my face.
It's just because I want him to end it.
Do you understand where I'm coming from, though?
Yes, I do.
Even if you disagreed with someone, would you want to censor them to the point where no one hears about it?
Well, no.
No.
It's hurting my ears.
Was that a fairly obvious answer to you?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah? So, last question. Why would you think that even if you disagreed with them, would you like them to be able to express their opinion?
Well, yeah.
Why? Why is that important?
Because we have freedom of speech. People should be able to say what they believe. What?
It's you gave such a simple answer, but that's all it is. Because you should be able to express it, is basically what you said. Because you have every right, even if you're wrong, you should let people differentiate whether or not you are, but you should be able to say what you have to say. That's it. Good podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, Andie Cox.
Andie Banandy.
Andie Banandy. That's all we had. I don't know if it'll be audio or video. We said we recorded video, but if it actually records, it won't say. Plug yourself. Anything?
Everybody have a great night or day.
Or day, depending on when you're listening to
Whenever
this.
the fuck you're listening.
Whenever the fuck you're listening to this. Josh, you're a bitch. This is your spot. Andie took over. Andie, did you not?
I did.
She did. Ladies and gentlemen.
This is Ethan and Andie Banandy.
Signing off.
And we're out.